Hey guys, Scare9 here, welcome back to my channel today, and recently a lot of you guys have been coming into my streams asking me what I am doing to prepare for Beyond Light. And I was under the assumption that there's already some really good guides out there, so I did a couple hours of digging on Reddit and on YouTube, watching and reading these guides. And I have to be honest, I'm kind of disappointed with the quality of guides that are out there right now. There's a couple good ones, but for the most part, a lot of the information is targeted towards brand new Light players, and not towards players who are looking to get a huge head start going into Beyond Light to be competitive in things like the new raid and the new activities that we're going to be getting, or to get your hands on exotics as quickly as possible. So I thought I would compile a list of 10 of the tips that the best players in the world are using in order to get the biggest head start going into Beyond Light, making you more competitive in things like the raid, make it more likely for you to get huge XP gains as quickly as possible, and get your hands on the new exotics as soon as you can after this DLC launch. So I wanted to go ahead, compile these 10 things. I'm gonna go ahead and say this video took a long ass time to record and edit, so if you're new around here, please consider subscribing. We are on the road to 75,000 subscribers, but with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So these are in no particular order, but I'm gonna go ahead and start with number 1. You need to farm God tier armor sets because it is so freaking easy to do right now from the raids that are infinitely farmable. In my opinion, you need 3 main sets of armor for PvE. Most of this list is PvE focused, so please keep that in mind. 1, you want to get either a Leviathan armor set, so that's either from Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, or Spire of Stars, or a Garden of Salvation set. This way you have an armor set that you can put Hive mods on, Garden of Salvation mods on, Leviathan mods on if that ever comes back, and they are incredibly easy to farm if you do go with one of the Leviathan sets. If you use the dog farm, you can also get insane amounts of enhancement cores, weapon parts, and legendary shards, which a lot of people have also been asking me how to farm. So I would recommend waiting until dogs is the first encounter on the Leviathan raid, and then just flying into the raid with a group of 6 friends, completing the dogs encounter, and resetting. You can use the skip that I've been showing on screen this entire time. It's not hard to do, it's easiest on Warlock. I believe you can do it on any of the 3 classes. But if you just fly into the dog encounter, you complete it, you get your drops, then you reset the raid and go again, you can get 4 to 5 to 6 minute runs. And if you do it on the prestige version of the Leviathan, one of your 2 drops every time will be a guaranteed armor piece, making this one of the fastest ways to farm insane stat rolled armor in the entire game. So that's the first set of armor you're going to want. The second set is going to be either a Last Wish set of armor or a Scourge of the Past set of armor. This way you can put Taken and Fallen mods on an armor set. Last Wish isn't currently farmable, Scourge of the Past is. There's not really an insanely fast way to do that, so I would just recommend getting a team and farming Scourge of the Past over and over and over again. Get yourself some high roll armor there. And then the third and final set you're going to want for PvE is a Season of Arrivals armor set. That way you can have most of the Year 2 mods on it, so you can have stuff from Season of the Dawn and Season of the Worthy, as well as Season of the Arrivals, and it will prepare you going into the next season. So if there's any crazy Charge with Light builds or Warmind Cell builds, you'll be able to put them on Season of Arrivals armor sets. And for this one, I would just recommend it's farming out some God roll Solstice of Hero armor. We know that's going to be very easy to farm in the event coming up this Tuesday, so I would recommend farming out a God roll set on each of your characters. Now moving on to the second tip, I promise these won't be as long. You need to farm your insane exotics for each of your 3 different characters. You want very good stat rolls on things like a Phoenix Protocol and the Saint 14 helmet and things like that. So if you are looking for year 1 exotics, things from Vanilla Destiny 2, Warmind, or Curse of Osiris, the easiest way to do this is going to be using the dog encounter on the Leviathan to farm keys. This is just like we discussed with farming armor. The difference is you complete the encounter. As soon as the key drops, you need to change characters. You need to make sure you change characters before your loot drops, or else you will lose that checkpoint and you will no longer get a key. This is essentially an exploit to make the encounter think that you have not completed it yet after you got the key, so you can essentially infinitely farm keys over and over and over again, and each of these keys has around a 50% chance to drop an exotic when you open the corresponding underbelly chest, so it is a huge bonus. Make sure you also have the contender shell equipped while you are doing this. Now for year 2 or 3 exotics, you need to farm Grandmaster Nightfalls. The best Nightfalls to farm are going to be Lake of Shadows, which is a very short runtime but a little bit more difficult, or Savathun's Song, which is incredibly easy but takes a little bit longer to run. If you have a better team, I would recommend Lake of Shadows, but if you're like LFGing or something, Savathun's Song is probably the easier way to go. Every single run, you have around a 50% chance to get an exotic. It seems like that's anecdotal, but it does seem to be around 50%, and they drop incredibly high stat rolls. So make sure if you need good exotics, you are farming Grandmaster Nightfalls. And this actually leads us into number 3, which is going to be to hoard upgrade materials, which the best way to get these is once again going to be to farm these Grandmaster Nightfalls. Every single one guarantees an Ascendant Shard and has a pretty high chance to drop a second one as well, in addition to a butt ton of enhancement prisms too. So these things can only stack up to 10 Ascendant Shards and 50 Enhancement Prisms in your inventory. However, if you switch characters and you fill your Postmaster as well, you can actually keep an additional stack of 10 Ascendant Shards and 50 Enhancement Prisms per character in your Postmaster, meaning you can have a total of 40 Ascendant Shards and 200 Enhancement Prisms if you use the combined inventory and Postmaster strats. If you do this, it is incredibly important to empty out your Postmaster regularly, or else they will be pushed out. For the last month or two of this season, all 6 Grandmaster Nightfalls will be directly available on the Director. So whichever of these strikes you decide to farm, you will be able to choose it directly, load right into it. So make sure you set aside some time, get a dedicated team, farm some of these out to stock up on your upgrade materials and farm some God Roll exotics. Now for the 4th tip, you need to hoard exotic Engrams. If they drop on the ground, if you get like an exotic drop while playing PvE, you need to let it sit on the ground until after you leave the encounter. This way it goes to your Postmaster and you can hoard them and save them for the next expansion. The reason you do this is because exotic Engrams have a high chance to drop an exotic you don't already have. So if you wait for the next expansion, it will be incredibly likely that you get one of the new exotics that launches with Beyond Light and gives you, once again, just that foot up above the rest of the competition. Now for number 5, you want to hoard planetary materials from Spider. Now, this is kind of confusing because a lot of the destinations are being vaulted in the Destiny content vault coming with Beyond the Light. Specifically, Mars, Mercury, Titan, and Io are all being taken out of the game, but as far as I'm aware, we do not have any indication on whether their planetary materials will be removed. I'm not sure how that is going to work, especially because they are very easily available from Spider. So I recommend just going to Spider, keeping an eye out every single day. He resets on the daily reset, and every time he has one of these materials available for one legendary shard, just stack them. I like to have about 2,000 of each planetary material. You probably don't need that many, but I would recommend hoarding as many as possible just to make sure you have enough going into Beyond the Light to upgrade your gear. Now, in number 6, we have, instead of farming armor, you're gonna wanna farm brand new PvE weapons. I did an entirely separate video on which weapons I thought were going to be the top of the meta going into Beyond the Light. For conciseness, I'm just gonna go ahead and say Gnawing Hunger is going to be your primary elemental that you're probably gonna want, and then as a kinetic sniper, which is my favorite replacement for Mountaintop, you're gonna either want a Long Shadow or a Supremacy, whatever god roll you can get. For more information on which rolls and which weapons you should be looking at, you can find the video down in the description below. I highly recommend you check that out after this video. Now for number 7, get every single exotic that you can currently. Every single stream, I have like 20 people ask, Scarrow, which exotics should I get? Or is blank exotic worth getting? The answer is yes, all of them. Get every single exotic that you currently can that hasn't been vaulted because of seasonal paywalls up to this point. Bungie has this insane history of being very erratic with exotics, where really bad exotics will all of a sudden overnight be the best performing exotics in the game. This has happened time and time and time and time again in Destiny, and it means just get every exotic. No exotic quest takes more than like 3 or 4 hours. You have 3 months until Beyond the Light. Get 1 exotic per week, and then you'll be, done with them all by the time Beyond the Light launches. It's super easy. Knock out the quests. Things like LFG exist. Join my Discord server, link in the description. There are people that will help you out, I promise. It's not hard to do. Get every single exotic. And that leads us into number 8. Get every single exotic catalyst. This shit takes like 2 hours. These things are dropping like candy from these different activities. If you get one to drop, just complete it. It doesn't take that much time. Go into the Whisper mission or the Shirochi checkpoint in Last Wish and just knock it out. It's not that hard, and it will, only benefit you in the long run. That is impossible that could be negative to your game. So just get the catalysts, get them upgraded, and save yourself, all of the hassle of having to do 50 in the future. Now for the number 9 slot, you're going to want to get all of the specific race mods from all of the different raids, so you can get the taken mods, things like armaments, barriers, things like that. You need to get those from Last Wish. There are 4 of them. The Fallen ones you can get from Scourge of the Past. There are 4 of them. Make sure you get them. And then the Hive mods, you can get them from Menagerie or Crown of Sorrow. If you need to know how to get specific mods, look up a guide on YouTube. I'm just here to tell you, hey, you need to get these. Each ones can come from very specific loot sources. So like the Last Wish mods only come from the 2 secret hidden chests. So you need to make sure that you know where these locations are and that you're doing them weekly in order to knock out all of these mods, especially the Fallen ones. We know that Beyond Light is going to be heavily Fallen based, so it makes sense that maybe the raid will be too, and having these Fallen mods will be a huge benefit and just a huge leg up on everyone else going into that raid. So make sure you have all of them. And now for the 10th and final and probably most controversial tip, hoard your freaking bounties. I have seen so many people saying, don't do this. We have no guarantee from Bungie that they are going to be wiping bounties, and if history shows us anything, it's that they will in fact not wipe our bounties. Now we do know that they said that they're going to change how XP works, so you get more from activities, less from bounties, but we don't know if that's retroactive to bounties that you have saved up. And honestly, if you want to be as prepared as possible, this is what you're going to want to do. You can get an insane amount of XP saved up in your inventory by just hoarding as many bounties as you can. Weekly bounties give you 12,000 XP, dailies give you 6,000 XP, and repeatable bounties only give you 4,000. So you obviously want to have as many weeklies as possible. If you start right now, you should be able to have 30 or so weeklies per character. Like right now, I have about 1.2 million XP, which you can see on screen. This is a website, which I'll link in the description, called Destiny 2 Checklist. It is incredibly useful for just showing you how much stuff you have ready for the next season. And this is a great way to track how many bounties you have. Every single level of this season pass is 100,000 XP. So since I have 1.2 million XP saved up, I will automatically be level 12 on the season pass as soon as I get my artifact and the expansion launches in November. So hoard your bounties. I don't care what anyone else says until Bungie makes an official statement saying that they're wiping the bounties or they will be useless or something to that effect. Just hoard them. It doesn't take that much time. You get them while playing and doing all of these other things anyways. Now, if there are any changes to this checklist as we get closer to November, maybe Bungie says, hey, this won't work, or hey, this will work, or something like that, I will make sure to update it in the pinned comment. So if you're seeing this a couple weeks later, make sure you check the pinned comment to see if I have added anything or taken anything away. But that is going to be the entire list. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Good luck preparing for Beyond the Light. I hope to see you guys out there. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like rating and to share it with your friends. If you're interested in watching either of the 2 videos on screen, you can click their respective annotations to be taken to them. If you're brand new to my channel, make sure the giant version of my logo on screen to be subscribed for more awesome Destiny 2 videos and live streams. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you in my next video.